Okay. In page Kufches, middle of the page. Finish discussing the concept that Lamaila there is the Inyam Yesh Ayin, the Ayin Eliki, which is Mahavad the Yesh. That Ayin is called Ayin because it's bottle, because it's a Koich Shiv, because it's insignificant. But Teiro, that's the Bria Saril Ayin the Yesh. But Teiro Mitzvah is where is the Etzem, which is above the Ayin. Show Mascheles in the Shamas Yisrael, which is a little above the half of the page. But Dugma Shalamayla Yuvan Gamken ben Shamas. It's similar to the way we discussed. We explained the way it's Lamayla that there is the Madrig of the Etzem, which is Nimshach Teramitzvah, and the Madrig of the Ayin, which is created. Ilama is similar to that in the Shamashem. It's Almeni could say no. We discussed earlier the Neshama, it's Betzalmeni could say the Neshama is created with Dugma Shalmayla, similar to the way the Amshachas Elikus Lamayla is the same thing. The Neshama is Kinas Tahiri. So all this is an explanation of one line that said in page Kuf Zayin, said Shom Atzras B'Dapad Neshama. Be'etzem Neshama Shamayim B'Slapshus Lamaylam is it. Etzem Neshama is even above Tahiri. There is first it's out in the fact that it's Tahiri, and then there is the Etzem, which is even above. So he says like this. Prinas Tahiri Zara Neshama Kuchaprinas Ayin. Level of Neshama, which is in the state of Tahiri. So earlier he said there's Neshama debates in Atzilus, that all this is still Ayin, which means the Mishnah says in Pirkoves, Dam Ayin Basa. The Neshama comes from Madrega Fine, the Neshama Lamata of Basa, it's out in the fact, the Ayin Basa comes from Madrega Fine, which is Tahiri. The Ayin of Prinas Ha'or Levat. So just like we said in the Mile, we spoke about the creation. Why it's called Yesh Me'ayin, because the Ayin, the early keys are Ha'or Bilvad. Similar to that, the Neshama, the Madrega of Tahiri is Ha'or Bilvad. Ve'ein zadayin atzos haneshama. This is not the essence, the atzos of neshama. But atzos haneshama nema oimerim. But when you get atzos neshama, we say in the same bracha, neshama should be ta'irei. Ata barasa, ata itzat, ata nefachta bi, ve'ata meshama b'kirbi. So ve'ata meshama b'kirbi, that is the etzem haneshama. The etzem hamoyer hu hashemer sa'ir. This is the oil of the neshama. That's the ayin, like we said earlier. But the etzem and the shama, that's the moir, ato, that's the elikus. Kamal derech mashal moir hashemesh shemer sa'ir. So the meaning of shemer, that he protects and he saves, is the it's an interesting kind of the way the concept of shemer in our case. Shemer means it protects. It means that's really the what makes the entire neshama could be exist. That's a result of ato. Marshal, it says marshal that is like this. The moir of the shemesh, the body of the sun, the moir, the luminary, that is what protects the earth. What's the right? When the sun sets, it means when the shemesh sets, when the sun stops protecting the earth, then the earth disappears. Not only disappears, it's as if it was never existed. Only when the sun is around, is seen, is not set. It's interesting. We don't usually understand Shmir in that way, but here in this, here he's explaining Mashama Lashon that he is the one who is the source for everything. Okay, so now he goes back and forth. Okay, so now he used this. Use the beer we had before, the difference between the etzem which is nimshach terem mitzvahs, and the ayin that creates as a Example, the debate happens in the neshama. It's the etzem and neshama, atom neshama. Begin is the oil, which is the ayin. This is tahiri. Then he says, goes back to the ways of Milo. So similar to that, we find also in Milo, we discuss the Ein Sof, the way the Ein Sof affects and operates in Seder Shtalshalos. The oil brings a Kav canal. Earlier we discussed that the oil that reaches the Shtalshalos, that's the Kav. That's the Kav. That's Nim Shamayach Tzimp Lachar Tzimtz. But then there's the etzem, which is the source of the kav, which is above the kav. So that's called in other places the igel agol shalifnei kav. Just it's like a gashma is a commercial, like the round circle, so to speak, which is the source, the source, which is the source of the kav. And also sometimes with derech class is access for the same. So this madriga, which is the eagle agod, is also called access for the same. So in other words, he wanted just to bring a dogma to the concept of shemer, the idea that the source shemer. So we have it in the shemesh, and we have it in the neshama, and it's similar also in the Milo. The eagle agod is the shemer sakav. Shemer means that it enables it to exist. Going back to the neshama, the atzas and neshama, shemer serva gil. So there's the atzas and neshama, which is the atam neshama v'kirbi, and that is what protects, which in our case means not just protecting. That really gives the entire neshama its being. So bring the source for that is in Mitzrayim. That madriga, what we call etzem and neshama, that means what it says in Mitzrayim, sheyesh memutza bein habayr ve'anivo. There is a certain madriga which we call memutza, intermediary interface between the bayr, the Eibishter, the creator, and the creation. That the words I guess means that the Eden have this memutza. V'hush, that's the lashon that's chaim. But sheyesh nitzutz cotton shenimshach mimadrega ha'achrona shebebayre. There is a spark, small spark, which is drawn, which is pulled from the lowest madriga of the bayre. V'hu mislabesh b'koyach nitzutz echad nivra. The word bekoyach is interesting also. The Sprachen Kabbalah is not the regular Sprachen we used to. So that nitzutz bayre is mislabesh in the nitzutz nivra. She'u neshama daka ma'oid. The nitzutz nivra, the neshama daka ma'oid. So according, if I understand correctly, what he's saying here is that the etzem and neshama, that is the nitzutz bayre. The etzem is only the nitzutz bayre, the godliness in the neshama. But more specifically, it's explained in other places in Chassidus. That shtickle it's Chaim. What's Pshat? It says, Solo Machshava. Medrash says, Shom is Solo Machshava. Says Chassidus, all Machshava does means that the shayrish, the soul, the root of the soul is Madrega of Machshava, and Machshava Dumedak. The madriga, which is called machshava akduma da'ak, the Adam Kadmon, the earliest, the highest level in the Adam Kadmon, in the Shtalshalos, who that madriga of neshama tzisol v'machshava, that's chitzonius. And nitzutz cotton now, Mashenga nitzutz cotton, that's what he calls it. B'china madriga shebebayre, who b'chinas pnimiusa. That's what the Pnimi said. That is the Madrega. In our Gufa, it's in the Madrega of Ur, which is above the Kelim of Ak. There's the Hitzenius is the kelim of Ak, the machshava. Machshava is, relatively speaking, some kind of tzir of kelim, like a machshava of the person. As when you think through through words, kelim. Ashenken the knitted cotton, that's the material which is above the kelim. Another way to explain it, Umash Kosov. It's high in the Le'elam Igel Golta delay, Yesh Kedugmas Atik. The times the lush that above the skull, the Goylas of Adam Kadmon is Yesh Kedugmas Atik, similar to the way in Atzilus. There's Chachma, there's Kesser, there's Atik, so similar in Ak, it's also another which is Bedugmas Atik. Mavor B'Makamacha Shazel Reish Hakav. So that madrega, what we call here Atik, is also the same madrega, which is Reishis HaKav, the beginning of the Kav, which we learned a few times in the past in the Sefer also. Arzeu Ba'akav Mashalamayim Mishtashit Nesak. So in the Kav Gufa, that's the madrega of Reishis HaKav, which is above Ak. U'Mashamalchus the Insof Nasa Atik La'ak. That's also called Malchus the Insof. Is the last madrega of Atzil of Insof, which is above Bifnei Tzimtzum, that becomes the Kesser, that's the Reishis HaKav, becomes the Atik La'ak. Ein Mashakosem Mizeh B'dayim Makbim Mitzos Hashem V'necha Ein Ches. This will be discussed later in the Maimer of Fa'atem No, which is, I think, Parshas Kisis, Parshas Kisiso, in a few, about 100 pages from now, over there is going to discuss this concept. That is okay, so the neshama itself, the highest madrega is al machshava f'ak. The etzem and the neshama, which we call it the etzem, what do we call atzem and the neshama, that's the nitzat bayre, which is the ak. Who you call it? Neshama. That's the ultimate, again, Shema, because Atam Shama Bekirbi, that's the ultimate protector of the Neshama and the source of the Neshama, the way it's within the body. This Madriga, remember, we started talking about Yisrael, the whole Maimon started talking about what's in Yisrael and Yaakov. So after all this the discussion, we say, so the real madrega of his soul is the etzem neshama. Etzem neshama, which is the nitzitz bayre, and that's called which calls about Chaim. So Chaim said earlier, "Shal zen nema bonim atem." So this madrega, what we talk about, the nitzitz bayre, that's called bonim atem neshama lekech. Yodua the soil of ben. His soil is the Indian of ben. So this is madrega of his soul. Finished about the soul. Now he's going to go back. So we discussed what his soul is. Soul means the ultimate madrega of his soul is the atoms and the shama, the nitzitz bayre, which is the pnimius art and the reishis hakav, a lot of names. It means it's extremely high madrega in Alikus, which is the source of the neshama. Yaakov, Mashenkin, Yaakov, Pchinas Evet. Yaakov, Pchinas Evet. Which is cause of Yaakov Abdi. Yaakov is you know this all as Ben. So is Ben. Yaakov is Evet. That Isol is the madrega of Ben. That's the madrega of Nitzitz Bayre. Yeah, just like a child is a part of his parent. Lahavdil. So this similar to Marshall, the child, the part of the Shama, which is called Isol, is the Nitzitz Bayre, the part of Kaviyachol Deibish himself. Yaakov Pchinas Evet, which goes of Yaakov Abdi. So the madrega of Yaakov, that is not Ben, it's Evet. The pasuk says Yaakov Avdi, which means Neshama Mebashas Beguf. That is the Neshama, which is part of the Neshama, like I said earlier. The Etzem of the Neshama is not Neguf. Part of the Neshama Mebashas Beguf. This is Yaakov Avdi. Yisrael plus Ben. It goes back and forth with the language here, or the Bible. So we finished talking what Yisrael is, but which Yisrael is Ben, which is it needs its Bayer, the Atzam and the Sham, and Yaakov is the Madrig of the Neshama, which is Malubash Baguf, the Ha'ar of the Neshama, and it's called Avdi. So he's going to now go to explain why is it called, what is the meaning Avdi? Why is it called Avdi? Avdi means my servant, not just my servant. Avoida, Avdi means avoida. Avoida means effort and hard work. So he's going to get into discussing what is the union of Avdi. Unionhood in Exiv, Pasuk says in Kayeles, Ma Yisrael la'odam b'chol ha'moleh sheyamal tachas Hashem. So it says, Shlomo Kayeles, Ma Yisrael la'odam. What advantage does a person have b'chol ha'moleh from all his effort sheyamal tachas Hashem? He invests and he works hard under the sun. Yisrael v'zoya. Says the Zoya Pshat in Pasuk, Yochel af ha'moleh da'isa. We can think that when Pasuk says my Israel, that there is no advantage of all the effort, applies also to Amala Derais, to the hard work of learning Torah. Talmud Leimar. So the Pasuk teaches us that's not the case. Hashayamal Tachas Hashem. Pasuk says only Tachas Hashem, under the sun. Shine Amala Derais and the Leilam Shiv. Amala Derais is above the sun. Over there is a Israel. So we know step one. We know from the pasuk there are the two madrigas Amal. There's the Amal Tachas Hashemesh, Ein Israel, my Israel. Hashem and the Amal, which is above the Shemesh, Amal Deraisa Yeshis. It's similar to what it says in Zayah. There's also Gemara in Shabbos. Amar Rabbi Yanai. Tachas Hashemesh Udein Loi, same thing. Only Tachas Hashemesh, that's Ein Israel. Aval Koidem Hashemesh Yesh. Hashem Koidem Hashemesh, what does Koidem mean? Pirashash Sheyamal B'Teira Shekodma El Hashemesh. Teira says Teira Kodma Loila. Memela Teira is Kodma L'Shemesh. Yesh L'Israel. So again, the Gemara says something similar to what the Zohar says, but the difference is, in Gemara it talks in a more practical language of Kodma. Kodma means it was earlier, it came earlier, but in Zohar it says it in a more conceptual manner. Le'ela, it's above it. It's a higher madrega, not just it came earlier in time. It's a higher madrega. Okay, so what is this Amal? So let's discuss what. So basically, we started talking about what is Amal Tachas Hashemesh and what's Amal Leilam Shimsh. Moses says in Nebel Ches, Kol Odam La'avam Nigor. Every person is created for La'amal, to work hard. Shanema Odam La'amal Yulad. Pasuk in Yev that every person, Adam, humanity was created alone. Says the Gemara an interesting observation. The pasuk says the Amal. I don't know which Amal is talking about. Is it Amal Malacha, which means physical work, or Amal Peh, means his mouth? Kashu Omer. As another pasuk says, Nefesh. Amal ki Akaf Olaf Piu. Yeah, we looked up the first time we learned it. Nefesh Amal Ameloloi ki Akaf Olaf Piu. So the way this Gemara learns Pshat that because Akaf Olaf Piu, that's the Amal. It's a result of his mouth. So from that pasuk we derive that La Amal.
Where is this pasuk?
I think it's also in Eve. A second. That's a Mishnah, I'm sorry, it's a Mishnah. So the pasuk says in Mishnah, Nefesh Omel Omla Loik Yahokaf Alok Piu. Rashi says, we brought it up. Rashi says, Pshat, that the person works hard because his mouth forces him to work. His mouth demands food. that's Pshat. But not just Rashi. I see Sudis, Albak, they also say Pshat, like that. But obviously the Gemara has a different Pshat. The Gemara is a remez, it's a dush. Pasuk in Mishlei Tezayin Chovov. Okay, so again, so the Pshat and Pasuk is not so negay. The Gemara is medayik from Meloshin. The alcohol of Piu that they're almost connected with peh, connected with the mouth. Adain ein idea in Lamal Sicha Lamal Teranim. Okay, later we'll talk about Sicha is, but it says in Amal Peh Gufa, which Amal Peh are we talking about? Which hard work with your mouth is the pasuk when it says Adam Lavani, which Amal we're talking about? The Shoim Elayomush Sefer Torah Zemi Picha. Pasuk says Elayomush Sefer Torah Zemi Picha. Also the word Mi Picha, that the Peh has to be Layomush, the Sefer Torah should never move from his mouth. So he brought this Gemara in Sanhedrin to explain, to show us as a concept of Amal Deiraisa, Amal Torah. Says, "V'aynu k'meshikosu b'zoya shetzarich li es Amal Deiraisa shel elam shimsh." So that is the meaning of Amal Torah when it says Adam l'Amal Nivra Amal Torah, because Erais is the Ma'alim Shimshon, like the first pasuk says. Okay, Ma'isa l'Adam b'chol Amal Yishayam Tachas HaShemesh. The Amal that's Tachas HaShemesh, not Amal Deiraisa. So Ma'isa, there's no advantage to it. But the pasuk says Adam l'Amal Yulad. It's Chastira. Here it says Ma'isa l'Adam Sheyamol. There's no advantage. All the hard work, and the other pasuk says Adam la'amal yulad. The purpose of creation is yulad. He was created. He was born in order to be totally occupied with amal. So how do we reconcile two psukim? The answer is the pasuk Adam la'amal yulad talks about amal Torah, which is la'elam mishimsh. So we have a shtickle dush. What is the meaning of amal? Aber fiz that tzarich la'avin. But according to this understanding, the creation of that Adam la'amal yulad means amal Torah. According to that, we have a question. Masha Pasha Shnei de Krishma, in the second Pasha of Krishma, Voyem Shamoya Tishmu, the Pasha Voyem Shamoya Nema was Safta the Ganecha. Voyem Shamoya Tishmu, the Svesa Shnei Tzaf Hayim, Lav Hashem Keichem Cholov Chol Nafshim. Satim Ta'atz from Beita, Yael Mark was Safta the Ganecha. What, in other words, what sounds on the pasuk? What is the normal way of things? What are you busy with? What's after the ganecha? Gather your grain, which means shazer l'chayil amal malach. So in the pasuk Krishma is mashma that if everything works fine, shamaya tishmu, everything is good. What do you do with your life? What's after the ganecha? You're busy working, do hard work. That's amal malach. So adam la'amal yulad. So okay, so that's the question. First, statement number one he made was that Amal Adam Lamal Yulad means Amal Derais. How does that fit? But we saying Krishma that what is the normal way of life? Was after the Ganecha, that the person should be busy gathering his grain, which means Amal Malach. Rishtimtas. So we jump into another discussion to explain the Indian what is was after the Ganesh. Pasuk says that the Eibishter Avay and Elikim is compared to Shemesh and Mogan, to a sun and its shield. Shem Avay Nimshal Shemesh. Shem Avay is compared to the sun that shines. Shem Havai is Gilelikus, shines, Elikim, Shem Elikim, Upres Mogan Venaltik, Amachaso Master Hashem, Shiuchol Iskal Boila. We learned in the Bible before that in order for the Eira Shemesh, should shine in a way that the world should be able to be makabel, to receive it, accept it, and handle it, and derive benefit from it. We need a Shem Elokim, we need a Mogen, we need something to block. Hashem itself, like we just said earlier when we get to the Ayin. The Hashem itself is only a ziva. It's only an external ray. It's not the etzem. Sharei kashenishka lo yesh aziv. The fact that actually we just on page Kuf Zayin had the same idea, that the fact that when the sun sets, we don't have this light disappears. It shows us that it's not the etzem is not mamsha the etzem. If the etzem would have come to the oil, it's even with the shemesh disappears. He gave us the etzem, like in the world of shefa. Like the Chassidus explains between oil and shefa. Shefa, the essence of the idea, the essence of the ashpa, stays even when the ashpia goes away, because it's an essential. It gave him an essential thing. So when the minute the shemesh is gone, the oil disappears. So similarly, when you get the Shem Havaya is a type of ashpa milmailo that is a ha'or ba'am. Gam da Havaya loshn ma'ava shu mokar isavus. It's like it's true that Havaya, one of the meanings of the word Havaya is loshn ma'ava, the Eibush that creates everything. Shu mokar isavus is the source of creation. Not only that, it's another layer here. Shem Havaya, which is the higher madriga, when it creates, but whatever it creates is in a way that there's no leap. It's automatic, like machshava. Machshava shetet stomach. Mishakasu, when the pasuk says ki hutziva v'nivro derech me'ela v'me'ela. The difference says in below, maybe it's in this safe also. You get the Shem Elokim says Baish is Bo Elokim. Bo is an act. When you act, the act of Bria means that there is a leap come out of himself, and it creates. You get the Shem Havai says Ya'al Shem Havai ki hu tzivah v'nivro. V'nivro means b'derech memela. What does it show? That's b'derech memela means that, so to speak, a natural extension of Havaya. B'meila, Kumaimo, and that's also Muhammad in Pasach Eliyahu, ante tabich satikuni la noga boin almin stimin the lois gal. What's created from Shem Havaya v'derech Memeila? The type of elamis almin stimin the lois gal. Elamis that are connected, they're hidden, and they're connected to their source. She's havos v'derech Memeila, k'mish gwasen gamach. So Havaya, the creation from Shem Havaya, the creatures that are created in Shem Havaya are very high level elamis alyanim, elamis ruchnim, not just ruchnim, elikim. But at the same time, so that's just how Shem Havaya. But at the same time, mikol makom arei b'chinas siv ani Havaya u'shmi p'nei Hashem v'ha'or levad. See, but in the Chagav, another point that the Einach Hanamis is half Hashem Havaya, the Nivoim, the creator of Shem Havaya, are very high madrega of Nivoim. Nivoim Amit Stimin means hidden worlds, hidden from us. Means they're very high madrega in Elikos. They're connected to Elikos, like Machshava. Machshava is also Stimin, is hidden. Still, it's still Shem Havaya. It's connected. It's compared to Hashem, but it's still a ziva bilvad. That is Havaya. Omnam Shem Elokim. Then there is a lower level. That's Shem Havaya. That creates the Elam Salyanim, which means the Elam Atzilus, the Elam which is a direct connection to Elikos. Omnam Shem Elokim, Ushamayim Amatar Shem Havaya. Now there's Shem Elokim, which hides and conceals. That's just like the Mogen, like the shield. So what is the result of that concealment? Lies, yes. Because of Shem Elikim, a different type of Nivoim is created. Not Nivoim that are all mitztimim. They're hidden and concealed and connected to the source. What's created is Nivoim that are a separate, independent being. Which actually contains, relates to all the details, the specific details of the Shtalshlus, of the Olam B'Yitzir Asir, ad the Olam Atach, until it reaches our own lowest world, Shubim Didav Gashmis, which is very limited and measured. Like the Gemara says, it's like Malach Takshana, that there's even our world, which seemed huge and vast, it still has a limit. That's why the distance between Earth and Archaea is measured, a certain measure. It's called Takshana, which is quite a big measure, but it's still measured.
What's that mean? Shonot? Walking and it's miles?
Malach Takshana. As long as it takes a person to walk 150 years. Not 500 years. It's a certain measurement. Let's say maybe we always say malach alpayim amo malach. As long as it takes to walk, so that shows the distance. Time, space is measured by time. The point is, takshan is not that important. The point is it's limited. It's measured. And the Gemara says, "Bein kol malach takshana, oive kol malach takshana." So this Gemara shows us that even the vast galaxies of the universe, they're all limited. They have a measure. So this limited, measured world is created to Shem Elikim. That was step one. Then it tells us a third point. So one point we learned that the Shem Havai, which creates Elam Stimin. The other point is Shem Elikim, that creates the Elam, which is yes, separate being, and they're limited. But then there's a third point. Still, that concealment that happens because of Shem Elikim, the Magam of Shem Elikim, it's not a full concealment. Chas v'shalom. Was the Shem Elikim or Likus Mamash Einamas? And the truth is, even Shem Elikim that creates separate Nivoim and limited Nivoim, it doesn't really hide completely a Likus. Valkain, and because of that, as a result of the fact that Shem Elikim is not the Esther Gomer, Valkain, Gam Shenisam, and Tzis Yesh, Megomer Yesh Betlalai. It's not true that the Yesh was created, and he's a separate, independent being, but still maintains a level of bittul aligned to its source. Like we see, the Gemara says, and it said, but Tanya and other places, all the Nivoim can maintain within themselves a certain level of bittul telekus. We already learned that Shtik Barich is the first time that the fact that all the sun and the rest of the sun every day, the rest of the heavenly bodies, every day they turn from east to west. The Gemara says that. Remember, the Gemara is machlekes about the Gemara Babas. The Gemara says that Shechina b'mayim, and that's where it's Shemayim l'chamishtachim, because the sivuv is expression of mishtachim, mishtachavo, which is bittul. L'chein hagam he says a little more, but b'richas. L'chein hagam shesivuv ha'atzmim b'mayim is the natural turning of all the heavenly bodies b'mayim is. Really, if you learn Rambam Kiddush HaChedesh, there's the clarification there about it, that be'etzem all the sun and the rest of the heavenly bodies, the siva vashnasi is ma'il, that's in the opposite direction, because that's siva vashnasi, that's the natural inclination is to turn the other direction, opposite. from Ma'ariv to Mizrach, from west to east. But on the daily basis, on Mizrach and Ma'ariv, they turn from east to west. That expresses the Ishtachavo L'Ma'ariv, that all the heavenly bodies bow to the Eibishter Kaviyach, who is the Ma'ariv. She'oim shiur, that the Shemesh and the rest of heavenly bodies, Oim shiur, they sing a song of praise to the Eibishter, Mishtach v'Klapi Shenesh B'Ma'ariv. So,
What
okay.
does it mean that Shivu Ba'atzmi Hu Mimayrav L'Mizrach?
That if you learn in Nichos Kiddush HaChodesh, it says that there's a silver. If you get to the Shemesh, the silver Vashnasi, the yearly, the sun. There's a silver Vashnasi. The sun makes one big turn around the world once a year. That is the reason why, and that turn is not on the kava mashve. It's on an angle. This is the reason why the summer in the north is warm, and in the winter it's cold, because the sun moves from west to east every day, a few degrees, and then within a year it turns into Sivur Vashnasi. Sivur Vashnasi of the Shemesh is Mimayrav L'Mizrach. Like I said, it's not an exact circle like in the Kava Mashve and the equator, just like the Sivur Vayemi. This is why in the summer the sun is more north, in the winter it's more south. But that's if, like I said, in Kiddush HaChodesh explains the Sivur Vashnasi is Mimayrav L'Mizrach, but the Sivur Vayemi is Mizrach L'Ma'ariv. So the way he explains it here is the Sivur Vashnasi, that is the natural, that's the Sivur Va'atzmi, its own tone. But the Sivur Vayemi is really not just the Shemesh. The entire everything in the sky turns from east to west on the daily and in every day. That's when we wake up, the sun shines from the east. This again, so the Sivur Vashnasi represents the Atzmi, its natural tendency, the nature of the heavenly bodies is to turn from west to east, the opposite direction. But because of the Shechina, every day there's a Shtachavo, they turn Mizrach L'Ma'ariv, and they turn east to west. It's a little counterintuitive. It's when we learn Kiddush HaChodesh, we have the marshal over there. When a person is in a train, the train goes in one direction. He is within the train. He walks the opposite. Is inside the train, and he walks the opposite direction. So that means that the two opposite things are happening at the same time. This is the reason why the real full Sivur Vashnasi is more than it's really more than a year, because we lose. Okay, I don't want to go into the entire the discussion how it works. General point is that the Sivur Vashnasi, that's the Sivur Va'atzmi of all the heavenly bodies, is from west to east. But because of the Shtachavo, because they do something against their nature, and they bow to the Eibush. That's what Sivur Atzmi means. Okay, so all this was one example of the fact that despite that the Helen Vester, Shem Elikim creates the world in the way of Helen Vester, that because is hidden, there's still in Esther Gomu, because we do see some expressions of the beetle of the world Tolikus, and the first expression is the Shtachavo of the heavenly bodies. Chain kol anivoim Tolikus is similar to the way it is in the Shemesh in the Shemesh and Kol Kechavim. So similar to that is also, what does it say? Shemesh. Similar to that, really all the nivoim, all creations really maintain a certain level of Bitul Telikus. And we must say that's like more of a formula. We must say that that's what happened. Why? So he has a whole pilpul. What the pilpul? Moshe Norein Bitul Agash Miloch. we know that the physical is bottled to the spiritual. So the same way we have to understand that the Nivoim are really bottled to the Koyach Haliki. We see it in our own experience. A guf shabatal and neshama. The body, our physical body is bottled to the neshama. Beniga acharov. No, it says acharov. And apidigdav should say achareho. The neshama is the cave. So the guf is bottled to the neshama. Niga, what's the raya? כשאוילה ברצנו ונענה ברגלי, the person wants to move his foot, take it from yad menaneh. So the foot immediately moves. בלי שום בחירה ורצון. The foot doesn't have any choice in the matter, it doesn't have any interest. It automatically follows what the neshama wants it to do. That's an example how in our own experience the physical is bottled to the spiritual. So example number one, that the guf is bottled to the nefesh. Or anything the nefesh wants, if he wants something, the body automatically follows it. No, that's point 1 to 1. Now, point 2 is why they beat la guf and nefesh and kaba highest nefesh. The fact that the guf is bottled nefesh also facilitates the highest. That's why the nefesh the guf can be makabel highest, receive the life force from the nefesh to be alive. If the guf would resist, would not be bottled to the nefesh wouldn't give him life. What's the right? For example, when there is one part of the body which is mekulkul, means it's not working. Let's say there's some kind of an accident or some sickness. So that part of the body is mekulkul. Kilkul means she'ene bottle, means that he lacks the beetle to the nefesh. That may automatically eine makabel chayes. So actually, but here he says a little different. He makes a dogma. Just like when one of the parts of the body has a kilkul, has a certain disorder. So that blocks the chayes of the nefesh. The beetle, that's the kale of the highest to the highest nefesh. So you had a few things here. The first dogma was that the nefesh controls, the neshama controls the body. The minute the neshama wants something, the guf automatically follows because it's bottled. That was step 1. Then the highest, the fact that the guf is alive, it receives the life force from the nefesh, that itself is a result of its beetle. In other words, just like just like if part of his body is mekulkul, it's broken, it's dysfunctional. That is because he's not receiving the highest on the nefesh. Okay, so that's in other words, if I read it correctly, the kilkul is just a dogma. Just the kilkul doesn't prevent the chayes and nefesh. Same thing, lack of bittul also creates chayes and nefesh. Not sure it works exactly.
But kilkul is that it's not the keli. The keli is broken.
Yeah, in Hanam. Yeah. Yeah. Kilkul means the keli is broken. And it says keinu gam beruchnis, just like bekashmis. Keli is broken. It doesn't allow the chayes and nefesh. Same thing beruchnis. If the keli lacks the beetle, it also doesn't allow the chayes and nefesh. See, it's a statement he's making. He doesn't bring any proof or anything. It's just a statement. As is the union. Keinu beruchnis, they are beetle kli chayes and nefesh. just like the keli has to be right, let's say that the eye can be damaged, chas v'sholem, or whatever. Similarly, Baruchnis, the eye has to have a bittul to the spirit. If it's not bottle, so the spirit cannot give it life. Okay, so this is a dogma from a person, from a human being, who has a neshama, who has a soul. But in our point, he wants to make bechlal that bit kol anivoyim teinu lolikus. Where do we see that? So if this was one chacham, just like we see in our own experience, that in order for us to function, we need the bittul to the ruchni. The same thing is in the world at large. Now it means another dude. Really, the same thing applies to every physical item in this world, every object. That it must be in a state of bittul to the spiritual. The Gemara says, there's no blade of grass in this world. It doesn't have a mazel will translate as sometimes means the zodiac. Doesn't have a source in the spiritual world. A makaboy va'oimal. That's the lashon in Gemara. So it's possible that he's medayik the lashon a makaboy. I'm not sure. A makaboy means, what is makaboy va'oimal? It means there has to be a certain bittul in the asef in order to grow. So we see even in the world of Tzemeach that in order for it to grow, to exist, to flourish, it needs the mazel shel and we bottled the mazel shel but maybe I'm saying maybe the makaboy is an example of bitl. I'm not sure. Mazel, then it says in Chassidus further, mazel bottle shamayim. In the mazel itself, that spiritual source of the grass that makes the grass grow, that mazel himself, bottle shamayim. His bottle is in a state of nullification and bittul to the madrega, to the spiritual madrega, which is above the mazel. It says in pasuk in, I think it's in Kehelis, Gavoya mal Gavoya Shemel Gavoya Maleim. So they in our mind means Lashon Gavoya mal Gavoya. Point is that there's a few levels in the system of Ishtarashulus. Each one of them derives the lower level is bottled to the higher level. Achakulam Teinu Likus. And eventually it reaches the likus. So it's interesting. He brought a bunch of illustrations, I would call it, or explanations, how even though the Shem Elikim is minimum master, there's still a level of bittul likus even in our reality. So the main raya is from the Shtvah Shamayim Chamishtachim. Then he brought a marshal from the Guf and the Shama. Just like the Guf is but in the Shama, the same thing to the Nivoim Lamayla, the Nivoim are bottled to the Chayes Elikim. So we see that even when Shem Elikim is minimum master, there's still a certain level of Bitla Yeshalai. Masha, there's the other side of the coin. The fact it's not true that there is some kind of bittul, but in the Meidar Gisa we see a level of the world feels like an independent being.
What is the mazel?
The mazel is the spiritual source of everything that's in this world. So sometimes means, let's say, we live in the Olam Asiyah Gashmi. The Olam Asiyah Gashmi gets its source from Olam Asiyah Ruchni. So there is a certain source let's say the Koyach HaTzemeach gets its source from the Koyach HaTzemeach in the spiritual sense, in the Olam HaSiyur. That's called that's called mazel. Sometimes
There is a level.
what?
The mazel is in Elam Asiya, Yesiro,
It's
Amriya.
in,
Here is the mazel.
I think Pashtus, I think the simple understanding is that it's an Elam HaSiyur Ruchni. I think so. But this doesn't talk a lot about it. I'll try to find if it explains exactly.
So what's that saying? When En Mazal Israel. So what's that?
No, that's because
different.
Because the Eden get that the Shamas Soul, like I said earlier, the Shamas Soul have a direct connection to the Eibishter, which is above all these madrigas of Mazel. Mazel are the spiritual levels within the Ishtalshalos, Asir, Maitzir. His soul, ain't Mazel is soul because his soul get the highs directly from Elikus. That's what Ein Mazel is soul. Again, the word Mazel has a lot of meanings. Remember, we usually talk about the Beis Mazolis. Beis Mazolis means the sign, what we call in English the signs of the zodiac, the 12 signs. The shiur, what is the Mazel shiur, Mazel, what is it? Ta'omim Aryeh. So you have that's in the global sense. These are the Beis Mazolis, which is also called in what is it called? Astrology. There's the word of astrology, which is also called the mazolas. But
this is lower. No,
what?
This is lower. This is part of Elam Agashmi. The Yud Beis Mazol.
Yeah, sure.
But in Tanya Perek base, it says that it's going through the Derech Nasiya door. You know, it says a direct connection, but it says it goes Derech Nasiya door.
The Nasiya door is connected to the, like you said earlier, the Etzem HaNefesh, the Likus. Yeah, that's not Mazel. Nasiya door is not Mazel. Nasiya door is a higher one than Mazel.
No, but we are saying that the direct connection because in Mazel Israel, but there it says that Mr. differently.
No, it's not different. That's in the role of Halikus. In Halikus Gufa, we have the neshama of the Talmid Chacham. Tanya doesn't say Lashon Siyadot. Tanya says Talmid Chacham Rosh Alfa Yisrael Shebachol Derevadei. That's that's a direct connection to Halikus, which is not connected to the mazel, to the astrology, or even to the madrigas and the elements, say the stashins.
No, what I'm saying that you're saying that if every Jew is connected to Eibishter,
yeah.
So then what we're saying that there is an intermediary chas v'shalom at the
Not
Nasiya door.
That's not intermediaries. That's how the system works. They actually created the Shama Klolis, just like a body. Like it said, just like the body, there's the head, and all the limbs get the power from the head, but it's all part of the Knesset soul. So Knesset soul has this system. There's the Rosh Alfa soul, like this in Tanya, and then there's the Tzipor, then there's the Tziponaim, which is the nails, the lowest part of the body. That's all part of the Neshamas soul. All this is not part of Maz. It's not part of Nivroi. It's a different, like the point you made earlier, that Yesh Memutza and Abayel and Nivra, that connect, that direct, it's above the concept of Mazel. Mazel is not what Mazel versus Neshamas Yisrael. Mazel is all in part of Brias Ha'olam, it's part of creation of the world. Neshamas Yisrael have their own system. There is the needs of the Bayre, the Neshama Klolis, the Mashava Domedag. There's a system, obviously, but it's a direct connection to Likus. It's not Nivoy. Like along another mind, Shamas are Likus and not the Nivos. It's two different things. All right. Okay, continue.
It's like the other Perush. Ayin is Mazel Yisrael. Not the Ain, but Ayin.
Yeah.
All right.
David, thank you very much for going this slow. It helps.
No problem.
Thank you.